Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial. In this session I'm going to install TextFabric from scratch within a Windows machine. What you see in front of you is a Windows 11 setup, and I have dedicated 16 gigabytes of RAM to this machine, and I have 6 processor cores dedicated to this machine as well. Besides that, this is a fresh installation of the Windows 11 Enterprise Edition. You see it's the evaluation system that I have downloaded from the Microsoft website for research and testing purposes. The only thing that I've installed in addition to the bare Windows 11 Enterprise Edition is the Chrome browser, just because I'm so used to work with the Chrome browser. In order to install TextFabric, I will follow the normal protocol that I'm also using in my other video tutorials based on my research workshop series on TextFabric. So the link to the workshop series is found in the video description. I'm going to go to the introduction, the first Jupyter notebook that runs you through the installation process of TextFabric, and what you'll see here is that the first step that you have to do is install the analytic toolkit, which is the Anaconda distribution. You're provided with a hyperlink here, so you can just click on this and then you can skip the registration. That's not necessary. Sure, accept all, and then you get to the distribution installers. Here, make sure that you get, since I'm at Windows machine, the appropriate Windows installer. In my case, I have a 64-bit system running, so I will download the 64-bit graphical installer. This should, depending on your internet connection, take a couple of minutes, or in my case, I'm here at Andrews University. We have a very fast internet connection. This should take you just a couple of seconds. In the meantime, you can open already your Windows Explorer. As you see here, we are almost done with the download. 10 seconds left. Let's open our Windows Explorer and go to the download folder. Here we have the download folder. Okay, the installer is here. Let's double click on it and get Anaconda installed. Depending on your hardware setup, that is how much RAM and how strong your processor is, or how fast your hard disk is, this will take a little bit. Here you see now the installer starts to verify the file, and now you can start going to next, agree. You can just accept the default settings and click on next and install. You might be hearing a little bit of the humming noise in the background. The processor is working hard, and so the fans of the computer are kicking in order to cool down the motherboard. Obviously, Anaconda, the Anaconda package is a massive package, and it will require quite some computing power to get everything installed. Excellent, we are just finished with the installation procedure. You hear still the fans in the background probably humming. We click on next, next, and finish. So the installation is done. There's a little bit of a post-processing happening because Anaconda would like you to register with them, but that's not necessary. It will, right after the installation process is finished, also check for little updates of some of the Python programs that are included in the Anaconda package. So you just want to wait for this to finish. So here you go, Anaconda has started. We can close this window again, and you see now it's going to check for updated packages. If it finds updated packages, it will recommend you install them, and I would just follow the process. As you see, there is actually the Navigator app that can be updated, so let's do this. Yes, yes. Okay, the Anaconda Navigator is up to date now. Launch Navigator. Okay, good. We are done with the installation process. We can now close the Anaconda Navigator as we are not going to use it for the next step. Okay, if you now look up your programs that you have installed, you can here go to all and then Anaconda. You'll see here a couple of programs that come with the Anaconda package. What we are interested in is the Anaconda prompt. So we are going to right click here on the Anaconda prompt and say pin to start. So that means that when you click here, you will automatically see here the Anaconda prompt available for you. I would also make it actually available here on the taskbar. I love to start my most frequently used programs directly from the start bar. So let's click here on the Anaconda prompt. From here you will run your basic command line prompts. So in order to install now TextFabric, we do pip install TextFabric. Now we want to install all elements of TextFabric, so you put in square brackets all, and it depends on your operating system. Sometimes they need quotation marks. I think Windows needs quotation marks, so let's go and see how we're doing. Pip install TextFabric, perfect. It's going now to get access to the installer packages and install TextFabric in its latest version. You see here 13.0.6. Perfect, we have TextFabric now installed. Let's just go back here to our installation notebook and show you what the next step is. So the first one was to install the Anaconda package. After that, we installed through the Anaconda prompt the TextFabric program, as you just saw here. And now a crucial next element needs to be accomplished in order to work smoothly with TextFabric, and that has to do with increasing the GitHub rate limits. So this is a crucial point that many people miss, and then they run into issues. So you want to increase your GitHub rate limit for downloads. You're downloading all your data files, be that the Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartenser or the Nestle Aland or Qumran text and so on. You will download them from the GitHub repositories, and since there's a rate limit set up by default, you will often not be able to actually download the huge data sets that are available for TextFabric. In order to overcome that rate limit, you need to create a GitHub account. So go to github.com, and there, if you don't have an account yet, sign up. If you have already an account, go to sign in, put your credentials here. When you create an account with GitHub, you can set up two-factor authentication. I have done so too, and my default way of satisfying the two-factor authentication request is by using the Microsoft Authenticator app. So once you are having your account in GitHub, and obviously it's going to look different than here my environment, you want to actually go and click the hyperlink that's being provided here, create a personal access token. How did I get there? Just to remind you, we were in our PhD workshop TextFabric 001 introduction, Jupyter notebook, and there the section GitHub and rate limits for download. In that section you find this hyperlink, you click on it, and that again will explain you what the rate limits are and then how to increase the rate limit. And there you see the hyperlink create a personal access token. If you click that, you'll automatically get to the section where you create your new token. Just to clarify, you need to be logged in GitHub. You see I'm logged in here with my account. So only if you're logged in, you click, then you can click here on this hyperlink, create a personal access token, and will automatically get you to that site. Now what you do is you click then on generate a new token. You see I have for different purposes, I have other types of tokens, but you generate a new token, generate new token classic, that's what I would advise, and then you give it a name. So for our case, let's call it TF tutorial. Now I suggest that since you're just using this for TextFabric, you click here on no expiration date and then choose the following options. repo, and then admin GPG key, signing key, project, and then here I would also do admin org, admin key, basically the admins. So okay, good. Then you click on generate token. Now you see a token has been generated. Obviously I'm going to delete this again to not compromise my own account, but you will have this token here. What you're going to do is you are going to copy this token into a text document or some sort of document that you can use in order to keep track of your token. You might want to store it in a password app, but anyway, what's most important is that you are keeping track here of this token. So I just put this here in a simple text editor. Let's keep this open. Now, when you go further to your instructions in Windows, you'll see that when you scroll further down, you'll see that you have the section how to deal with Windows, how to add, so to say, your GitHub token into your Windows environment. You can carefully read this. It's very important, otherwise you're not able to smoothly download TextFabric datasets. It tells you click on the start button and type in environment variable. So let's do this. Environment variable, here it is. You can click on it, and now it's pretty much straightforward. You just follow here the instructions. It says environment variables, click on this, then you say new, and you then have to put under variable name, and under variable value you put your new GitHub token. Just copy paste this in here. Once you have this, click on OK, click on OK, OK, and you actually reboot your computer. Excellent, we just have rebooted the machine. So what we have done so far, we have installed Anaconda, then we have installed TextFabric, and then we have made sure that the GitHub rate limit is increased. So we're now good to actually start a Jupyter notebook and load a TextFabric module. So we're going to now start the Anaconda prompt in order to either start the TextFabric web browser or a Jupyter notebook. I'll for now start a Jupyter notebook, but I will use the command Jupyter lab. Jupyter lab contains the Jupyter notebooks, but has a lot of many more advanced features that are handy to have available when we're working with Jupyter notebooks. So here we are, we have the Jupyter lab available to us. We can now start a new Jupyter notebook by, for example, clicking here on this link, and there we have our code cells and can start writing code and commands. I have already downloaded my Jupyter notebook and will not start writing now an entire new notebook, but I will just use the notebook that is available on my NB viewer that you can download from there, and just push this here into the desktop. Okay, so now you see here is my Jupyter notebook. I'll just open that one because all the code is provided already. So we can now go and start loading our TextFabric datasets. So with this command, we load the TextFabric app, and now you see I have here a couple of datasets that we could load: the BHS, Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia, or the Septuagint, or the Dead Sea Scrolls, or the Greek New Testament. Let's now keep it simple for this purpose, so we don't want to spend too much time on downloading all kinds of datasets. Let's just download here the BHS. We run the command, and you see that now the GitHub repository of the Eptalzer Center of Bible and Computing, ETCBC, is downloading the BHSA app. That's the Biblia Hebraica Stadt Cartensia Amsterdamensis, thus in its Amsterdam version. And since we have defined a new GitHub rate limit, you will see that we have 5,000 pull requests, which we are not able to exhaust. So we are good. We are not going to be stopped in the process just because our rate limit was reached. This will now take quite a while. So depending on the data set, the BHSA is a huge data set. I think it's about 1 gigabyte that is being downloaded, and it's not just downloaded. And besides the downloading, what happens is there will be a lot of calculations happening in the background as the database needs to be set up for your environment. You see that after the different files have been downloaded, we are now using computer power, or the processing power of your computer chip, in order to calculate these different files and bring them together into the TextFabric, so weaving the different threads, so to say, into a fabric that we can then use for our searches and data analysis. I will fast forward here since I don't want to spoil your time just watching how the computer does its work. So the computer has just finished its calculations. You see how we first downloaded all the TF files, and then they were being computed by the TextFabric installer. And now we're ready to actually use this dataset, that is the Biblia Hebraica Stadt Cartensia, and should be able to run here our first query. Indeed, we're looking here just for Genesis chapter 20 verse 1, and here is the verse. We can also look for words within Genesis chapter 20 verse 1 and so on. I'm not going to spoil you now with all the possibilities that TextFabric offers. For that I have dedicated tutorials. However, I will show you one more thing, and that is the web browser, the TF web browser, that is also available, and you can obviously run this also within your Windows environment. So you start the TF web browser by doing TF, and now you need to put the name of the GitHub repository in here, so that would be etcbc, since we have only installed the BHSA so far, and then it's BHSA, and we run enter, and this will now automatically start a little web server on your Windows machine and make then the BHSA available to you as a little Bible software program. And here you see the TF web browser for the BHSA text. Genesis, here we see Genesis chapter 1. Let's go here to chapter 20 just for the fun of it, and then you can click on verse 1 and you see, the complete linguistic analysis. There are so many other options that you have here. You can define what you want to show and what you don't want to see. So yeah, all these you see. Now we have clicked on show notes, so now the notes are showing. You can say I want to have the standard features being visible. Now they are being visible. You see here the glosses and the part of speech made visible. Anyway, many options are possible here, many options are available, and obviously you can use the search pad where you use the search syntax of TextFabric in order to find your things here. I'm not going to show you how to do this. There are dedicated YouTube tutorials for this. The purpose of this tutorial was just to show you how to install TextFabric on a Windows machine, in this case a Windows 11 setup. Thank you. Bye bye.